Um, we're getting more comfortable with some of the changes in the scheme. It's hard. It's hard for the veteran guys to get taken out of their comfort level, which is what their comfort zone, which is really what happened. So they're kind of fighting their way back through in some of the different things that we're trying to communicate and get done. And I think having some time now as we're getting into the third full week of spring, I think they're starting to see that the reps are starting to stack on top of the reps, and things are becoming more natural for them.
What are some of the things that you took them out of their comfort zone that you were trying to do?
It can be, there's a variety of things. It can be as simple as a communication. It can be a technique. There's many things that we're doing that are the same, because obviously what was here was good. But because like anything else, we're trying to make it, what we do, we're trying to make it better. So there's some different techniques and different ways that we're going about doing things in terms of sort of under the hood of how we play. And sometimes you got to fight a lot of habits, a lot of reps in the opposite direction to get those habits broken and go back to the new way of doing things. So hopefully that'll be something that'll help us out in the fall in terms of making us harder to move the ball against.
How have your linebackers progressed over these past 3 weeks?
I think they've done well. Again, I think they're learning. The experience of Manny Diaz counts. Obviously, he's further along than anybody else just because of the reps that he's had, and he's got such a mental capacity for learning the game. Behind him, Richie Brown and Gary Green have both done really nice things on the inside. And then really the big battle for us right now is Sam linebacker. Zach Jackson and JT Gray both flash out there. Dre Ward's the guy that can help us out there, but he's done some good things at will this year. So they're all making a case for themselves. And I think our big battle cry, not just a linebacker but everywhere, is our blessing and our curse is we have a bunch of guys here that can make plays and have made plays in big time games. The issue is to take the place of the guys that have walked out the door is they have to be able to do it consistently. So if we couldn't do it, we'd have a built-in excuse, but we can. So now the issue is what stops us from doing it consistently. And a lot of times the enemy for that is us. So that's been the big thing, is trying to get ourselves more comfortable with understanding what it takes to be able to bring it every down, every series, and every day.
What was your overall impressions from the scrimmage on Friday?
I would say that it was a pretty strong butt kicking. It was by far our worst day, but it wasn't, as coaches, it wasn't completely unexpected. It looked like our offense knew what they were doing, and our defense thought that we knew what we were doing, and that's what showed. So I thought we made mistakes in the stadium that we hadn't made in the first 7 days out here on the practice field, and things just get sped up in the stadium. That's why you have to go in there and get into that environment. But what it did allow us to do is in the time since, the last couple of days, go back and sort of teach it again from square one, from fundamentals. And I think today our guys were a lot more comfortable. They saw the game. We're better eye control, better with their keys, better with leverage, things like that. And I suspect we'll make a better account of ourselves this Saturday.
Is the depth of defensive line, especially on the interior, is that being developed this spring as well?
Well, we have no choice. I mean, it has to be, because we're not, you can't survive in this day and age without being able to roll two and not really have a drop off. So again, there are guys in there that have shown that they have the ability to make a play. Hoyette and Thomas, the two young ones, they've done enough right now where they know why they're here and we know why they're here. But it's a big ask for them to all of a sudden bring it every day, and that's kind of what that whole sort of young redshirted class of freshmen, that's what they're figuring out right now. It's like, the good news is you're good enough, the bad news is you're good enough, and we probably need you this year. So you can't be a young guy anymore. So I think overall that we're getting better inside, but we're still a work in progress there for sure.
Not a lot of experience at quarterback. What have you seen from them this spring?
Well, it's like anything else. You're going to, same as a linebacker, you're always going to rely first on your more experienced guys. So Will Redmond is the guy we rely on the most. He's done a nice job so far this spring. And then beyond him, I'm starting to sound like a broken record. There's guys that are coming out here and they're doing good things. But now when you start talking about the secondary, it changes from the front seven, because now a secondary, you can't have a mistake. Mistakes are touchdowns. So in terms of playing with the urgency it takes to play on every snap, to understand that it's a no margin for error position, and then just getting comfortable in learning the scheme. those guys are battling. Coach Down's doing a great job with those guys, but same thing. That's something that's going to be, with Calhoun out, we're trying hard to see. I think Torlando Cleveland's done a nice job jumping in there and playing like a 1 so far this spring. But beyond them, it's been a flash year and a flash year, and we're looking for more consistency.
You kind of touched on it a little earlier, but in your first spring, how much is it starting from scratch, and how much is it taking what worked and utilizing that aspect of it?
There's a lot of what we've already done, because a lot of what we had my first time here hasn't changed. There's a lot of what we're still doing that we were doing in 2010. So by no means is it a complete reboot. But at the same time, things evolve. You have to look, honestly, you have to be a self-evaluator. You have to look at where we were being attacked, and did we have the answers for the way that people were attacking our defense. And the kids see it. The kids know. They're aware of where we had to get better, and so they understand that we feel like now we've got some answers to help us where people were trying to pick on us, and so it's been a challenge, but I think the kids get it. They understand the challenge, and I'd rather them be again, like we talked about at the beginning, knocked out of their comfort zone now, so they feel really good about it come August and September.
One of the things that was so vital last year, so much used, was the 1As and the 1Bs and the total hockey line changes. Do you kind of see that carrying over? Is that going to be kind of a different level this year in the sense that it'll be kind of ones and then shuffle in from there?
Well, we don't even know yet because it really comes down to the identity of the team. Last year's team had a lot of guys with a lot of experience, and that made it work for last year's team. We have to figure out whether we have 11 that we can line up with, let alone 22. I'm hoping, but hope and expectation aren't going to get any stops in the SEC. So, but that's really what it comes down to. We have to find out if we have, because they're all ones when they're playing. Because the other team, they don't care. So they're all ones when they're playing with. And I think what Coach Mullins' challenge is that be a 1. And how many ones do we really have at every position? That's kind of what we're trying to find out right now.
You look at a guy like Preston Smith. He's gone. Ryan Brown has similar numbers as Smith's junior year. How do you get Ryan to reach that potential and kind of break out this season?
Well, Ryan is he's an easy one to do because he's such a driven kid. He has respect to the entire locker room because he's one of the hardest workers on our football team. David Turner is a phenomenal coach. Ryan, any way you tell him to do it, he's going to try and do it exactly the way you tell him. He's a technician. He takes massive amounts of pride in his work. So he's a great role model for all of our younger guys on the team. But he also knows it's like baseball now. He's going into the number 4 spot in the lineup. So he may have had some good production, batting 5th or 3rd, something like that. But now he's a guy we're expecting to hit the home run. So again, he has the ability, he has the potential to make those type of plays, and I think he wants it. I think he wants that challenge on him to be the guy.